and welcome to Living Title IX with Betsy. That's me, and this week we are continuing our discussion about dating and domestic violence. We're doing this throughout the month of October, and we're really focused today on our response to dating and domestic violence on our campuses or in our schools. So the first thing that I want you to remember is to ask the question, how do you know each other? When you get a report of some type of violence or some type of threat, some type of interpersonal relationship concerns that are happening on your campus or in your school, I want that first question to be, how do you know the other party? Because as you remember, one of the things from last week that we talked about, we need to be thinking about what's the relationship like, what is the length of the relationship, and how often are they interacting, etc. So these are types of things that we need to evaluate on the front end. And I want to make sure that you're asking the question. And by doing that, we avoid potential biases of same-sex relationships, or even where we have a respondent who might happen to be a female and a complainant who is a male. And we want to make sure that we're checking that bias and treating that exactly the same as if our respondent were male and our complainant were female. So ask the question. Big, giant emphasis on that. Second, I want us to evaluate, and we need to think about what are our immediate concerns. Are there immediate safety risks? Does the complainant need to be taken to the hospital? Does the complainant need to see a counselor immediately? Is there a risk having the respondent in our building based on what has been reported to us? Are there additional threat concerns as it relates to that respondent or to this relationship? What do we know? And we need to evaluate very, very quickly the information that we have and know. And as you can probably tell, I'm escalating this rather quickly and perhaps more quickly than we would any other type of Title IX related behavior. And that's because there is a significant risk to our campuses and to our community when we have these dating violence situations. So the second step for us is to evaluate and make pretty quick next steps. The third step is that we are going to support our complainant and our respondent if they understand that we have already initiated an investigation or that we have initiated response. So, but first and foremost, we need to check on our complainant, make sure that they are supported. So what's their family life like? Have we contacted with guardians? Are we able to make sure that they have a safe place to stay that night? We need to really think about what that looks like for them. Are they connected with a counselor already? Immediate support for emotional, physical, and mental well-being. Our fourth step is to engage. Engage your threat assessment team. Hear me say this with a big exclamation point, and if you don't know what I'm talking about with the threat assessment team, I want you to do some research and make sure that you are at least thinking about that for your campus or your school immediately. But engage that team. Don't make these decisions on your own. Do not be on an island when it comes to dating and domestic violence response. So engage that threat assessment team. Think about all of the pieces that happen on your campus and all of the information that others might know and can bring to the table to help support you in your response. So do we need to move a complainant? Do we need to temporarily house them? Do we need to send them home and provide work from there? Do we need to make sure that they are connected with an advocate from a community resource, which I'll talk about in just a minute? But really, we need to engage so that we understand and have a full picture of what's going on with that individual at school. For our complainant and for our respondent, are there other safety concerns? Are there other red flags that maybe we as the Title IX coordinator don't know, but our student affairs or other principals might know within our school districts or college communities? So that's super important that we engage with others to have the conversation and are not isolated. Next, I want us to connect with local resources. I hinted at that a little bit earlier, but those local resources, whether it be an advocacy center or some type of sexual assault response center that you might have, or other domestic violence shelters. These are all organizations that help in dating and domestic violence situations as well and are able to help provide those resources, whether it be to the individual or to their family and guardians who may be supporting them at home. And then finally, we're going to investigate, but I want you to think really hard about who your investigator is in a dating and domestic violence situation, because we certainly don't want an individual who is going to have biases or who may victim blame. We need to think about how those questions are phrased in our dating and domestic violence situation. As we talked about last week, it often takes 7 times for an individual, or potentially up to 7 times for an individual, to leave a dating and domestic violence situation. So we want our investigators to be cautious about not asking those questions such as, why didn't you leave earlier? Or why didn't you tell us about this? Or we could have helped you sooner. Obviously, those things are secondary, and we certainly don't want to ask about those to an individual who may have experienced dating or domestic violence. So choose your investigators really, really wisely, and just make sure that you are available and a resource for that investigator throughout the investigation as a Title IX coordinator. So that's it. We got 6 steps. We want you to ask, evaluate, support, engage, connect, and investigate. So there you have it. As a quick reminder, if you comment mugshot on our video, we will send you one of our awesome mugs. They really are the best. They have the best handle, and you can then join our mug club, or our Mugshot Club. And we definitely want to highlight this amazing newest member of our Mugshot Club. So make sure that this could be you next time, and we want to send those to you. So like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the things on all of the platforms for us. That'd be amazing. And finally, don't forget to laugh at yourself, celebrate the small things, and support each other. You've got this.